After the successful release of his debut book, Soaring to the Top, in 2018, author and motivational speaker Ephraim Garwe went on to publish 3 more. The books are titled Turning Your Pain into Power, Turning Your Wounds into Wisdom, Purpose Revealed, and his latest one, I Am More Than Enough. And in these offerings, Ephraim continues his quest to have an impact on people's lives by providing helpful scenarios and practical techniques through his books. Ephraim joins us now on Zoom to tell us more about his pieces of inspiration that he shares in these books. Ephraim, a very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here this morning. Thank you.
Well, let's start with talking about what the book Soaring to the Top has done in terms of opening doors for you in the literary industry.
Well, it has opened big doors for me, but most importantly, it has went on to touch lives. I've received so much feedback, from people on how it has transformed the minds of people, and that's what an author wants to hear. But it has pushed me to go on and want to write more books, with the quest, to go on and impact lives. So that's what, the book has done for me. And that's what the book has done for people.
Yeah. And you went on to publish 3 other books in the space of 2 years. Take us through how that experience was like.
Well, I think once you start writing, you can't stop.
Yes.
And it's really about a calling. If you have a purpose, you have calling, and you hold on to the calling and you put effort into it. You can't just stop because it's your work. So I found myself just pushing, and I found myself writing more. And I believe that, with the inspiration of God, I am going to write more and more books. So, the experience has been quite good, and I am looking forward, to write more books in the years to come.
And let's talk about your latest book, I Am More Than Enough. Unpack for us, Ephraim, what this book is all about.
So I grew up, as a child who felt useless, who felt unloved. I grew up in a rural area where there was no inspiration whatsoever.
Yes.
And I used to feel useless. But I came then to a point where my life was transformed, and I then realized that the solutions, to some of the problems that I needed in my life were not far-fetched. They were inside of me. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to inspire other people, to share with them that the solutions to your problems are not far from you. They're actually inside of you. You are wiser than you feel at times. You're stronger than you know at times. You have so much potential that you know. So you are actually more than enough. The solutions to some of the problems that you're facing in your life, they're not far from you. They are inside of you. So I just wanted to, to inspire people, to tell them that you are more than enough. There's so much that you can do with your life.
Now, Ephraim, apart from growing up feeling worthless, unloved and unappreciated, you say that these books are your own personal testimony of God's grace and love upon your life. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so I write these books, using my story, because it's really a story that was not good to look at, from going to school with no shoes, from going to school hungry with no uniform, with no shoes. So really, it was not a story that people would say it wasn't a life that people would say people are going to look at. But when I look at the story to where I am today, I then use that story to inspire other people to say, look, it doesn't matter where you started. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter how you were born or where you were born, who your mother was or who your father was. But if you decide that I want to change my life, you can actually change your life in a big way. So that's what I've done with my life. I've moved from a very bad situation, and I think I've done so much for myself, to be where I am today.
Let's talk about how these books are going to help someone who is watching this interview right now, someone who's feeling what you felt when you were growing up. I mean, feeling worthless, feeling useless, feeling unloved, unappreciated, and just feeling not just feeling enough.
Yeah, look, these books, they carry so much inspiration. They carry so much, so much motivation that if you are somebody who used to talk down yourself, you are somebody who you are going to hear from a person who went through that. You are going to hear from a person who has experienced rejection, a person who has experienced all kinds of negative things, from being born with a speech impediment. I could not even talk. And today I am here talking to you properly. That's a miracle for me. So, if you are somebody who used to feel that you are not enough, and you are hearing a story of somebody who couldn't even talk, who couldn't even do anything, who walked to school 12 kilometers with no shoes in his feet, you should be inspired to say, look, if he can do it, I can actually also do something better for my life.
And in the book, Purpose Revealed, he so beautifully dissects the meaning of purpose. Just break it down for us.
Yeah, so I break down the acronym of purpose, and P stands for power. So I break down the word purpose into power to unleash and reach your full potential and achieve overwhelming success and excellence. So what I wanted to try and bring out to people is that, when you find your purpose, you find the power to wake up in the morning with joy. When you find your purpose, you find the power to unleash all the potential that God has invested inside of you. When you find your purpose, you have the power to achieve overwhelming success, because now you've found your area. You found your area that God has called you for. And once you find that area, you're able to put all the efforts. And definitely, when you do it, you're going to do it with excellence, because this is your area that God has, has called you here on earth to do.
All right. Now, turning pain into power, Ephraim, I think this is the most important, especially now during the pandemic, where people continue to experience various kinds of pains. How then do I turn the kind of pain that we're experiencing today into power?
Well, it's important for each and every one of us to note that every human being has got that power to turn their worst experiences, to make them lessons they can use for the future.
Yeah.
You can look at your mistakes and say, these mistakes that I've made, or these things that I've done wrong, what can I learn from that? What can I learn from my past mistake? What can I learn from my worst experiences? And if you can draw the lessons, you can actually build a new life for yourself. You can actually build a new future for yourself. So that's what many people are not able to do, because they focus more on the negatives. But if you can actually find the positives in the negatives, you can actually grow your life, to be a bigger life. So that's what I share in this book, from my experiences of pain, from my experiences of rejection, from my experiences of being up. And I then used that, to put more focus into my education. And I managed to do quite a lot in my education, because I was able to learn from those things and turn them into positives. So if one can do that, you can actually do better in your life.
The past 12 months have been so debilitating for so many people, have been one of the most terrible years for so many people, due to loss of lives, due to loss of jobs and loss of income. So I guess, put simply, Ephraim, where and how should people draw the strength to recover from whatever adversity that they've been faced with?
Well, I'm a person who believes in God. I believe in God, and I believe that all that we are going through, there is a higher being, there is a higher creator who is watching over us. So as a human being, there's so much that you can do. As people, there's so much that we can do. But if we know that there's a higher being that is watching over us, I think we can draw some inspiration from that. But also, if we can come together as a people, if we can come together as a country, if we can come together as the world and say, look, if we come together, we can overcome whatever challenge that we're going through. we can surely overcome. So it's really about drawing inspiration from a higher being, but also we can draw inspiration from our past experiences. We have had some other issues in the past. We have had pandemics in the past, and we have overcome. So if we can look at that and say we have overcome past issues, we can surely overcome this one, and we can come together. We can do better.
Beautiful piece of advice there, Ephraim. And what are some of the important lessons that readers of your books are going to take away when they've finished reading these books?
These books, they share some beautiful principles on success. They share some beautiful strength on how you can actually, end the past, how you can hold on to whatever. In all four of books, it's really about dreams, it's about goals, it's really about achieving all that you want to achieve in your life. So whoever is going to touch any of my books, any of these four books, you are guaranteed to draw some inspiration of how you can work on your goals, how you can work on your dreams, but most importantly, identifying that reason that you are here for and begin to run towards your destiny.
All right, Ephraim, continue writing more books. Inspiration and motivation is what we need right now. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, man. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
There we go. That was author and motivational speaker Ephraim Garwe, and we're speaking to us about his latest books, Turning Your Pain into Power, Turning Your Wounds into Wisdom, and Purpose Revealed, and I Am More Than Enough.